Welcome back, everyone. For decades, it was a rite of passage for many black women to get their first relaxer or chemical straightening of naturally curly or kinky hair. And now, generations later, doctors say it's been contributing to higher rates of fibroids, cancer, and other health problems for black women. Hundreds of those women and their families are suing various companies who have sold these products for years. Chicago has been named the epicenter for the legal fight, and joining us today to talk about it, we have April Prayer, a veteran attorney working with Wallace Miller Law Firm in the multi-district litigation to represent many of those women, Tanya Nance, who's been in the beauty business for 25 years as a cosmetologist and educator, and Dr. Goldwyn B. Fogy, an obstetrician and gynecologist here in Chicago, seeing patients at both the University of Chicago and Ingalls hospitals. Oh, that was a mouthful. Welcome, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us on People to People. It's great to have you. I want to start with you, April. As an attorney who is dead in the center of this litigation, can you, just kind of get us up to speed? I know that you have about 200 claims as part of a mass tort lawsuit. Catch us up on what the litigation is right now in terms of these women, saying something needs to be done.
Absolutely. We have even more women than that now, and the number continues to grow because the harm is so great. So when that study that was released by the National Institutes of Health came out this past October, and the study showed that of the 11,000 women who they had followed for almost 10 years, what happened was they realized that the black women in the study who had ever had a hair relaxer, even 1 year for 4 applications, had doubled the chances of them later developing endometrial cancer, which I'm sure Dr. Goldwyn will talk about is a form of uterine cancer. And so anytime in the legal field we hear of a doubling that is connected to a product or possibly connected to a product, you start to see litigation.
And so I just want to go back. You said just within 1 year, getting a relaxer 4 times, that it doubled the chances. Okay, I just needed to
absolutely
hear that
again. Most black women, I would say probably
every
90,
6 weeks.
Exactly, or more often. I even talked to one woman who got it every week.
Oh, goodness. Oh, no.
Every week. That's not what the label says, I'm sure, but still, you have women who were doing it more often because we were taught that our hair was not socially acceptable. And so now there is this lawsuit, and you will find women all over the United States jumping into the ring to file a lawsuit to say that they, yes, had a relaxer for sometimes 20, 30, 40 years, and then later developed injuries such as endometrial cancer, ovarian cancer, and also fibroids, and ended up having horrible surgeries like hysterectomies. So that's what's happening with the lawsuit.
Okay, and so I want to talk to Goldie, Dr. Gold, when you said people call you Goldie, but I'm going to call you Dr. Goldie, Fogy. So yeah, what are you seeing in your practice in terms of particularly black women coming in with, more cancer as it is correlated potentially to hair relaxers?
So commonly in my practice of gynecology, I've seen women for years overwhelmingly affected by uterine fibroids and endometrial cancer. And African American women are suffering more from mortality and morbidity once they're diagnosed with endometrial cancer, so that's very significant.
Yeah, and just as we're having this conversation, I'm thinking of friends who talk about fibroids or endometriosis or, just all these things, and it doesn't quite click that, oh my gosh, that could be associated with having had relaxers for, could be a short period of time or a long period of time. Tanya, as a cosmetologist and an educator, what is the message that you're getting across to your clients, in light of this news that has come out?
Well, I was a part of a small group of hairstylists who were trailblazers in turning our clients into natural, 100% natural styles. We transitioned our relaxed clients to 100% natural, and with that, I would like to think that that decreased some of the situations that some of our black women suffer with regard to the relaxers that were applied to their hair for years, probably since the age of 6.
Wow. Yeah, I know for myself, I think I don't know, sometime in grade school, you know, through college, and going natural is the best thing I have ever done. So, I mean, I will never go back. But yeah, it's really horrific to think that, you know, our bodies have endured so much, you know, horrific things because of potentially hair relaxers. I'm not sure who would be the best person to answer this, but in terms of the manufacturers of these relaxers, you know, from the very beginning, would you say that they knew that this is something, you know, that it would, these side effects?
We believe so. So we're in the phase of the litigation called discovery, when we're doing just that. We're discovering new things. And so during that phase, each party has to turn over different items to the other side. And so this is the part of the litigation where you hope to find that smoking gun memo from 20 years ago, 30 years ago, saying that they in fact knew. So we have it on good authority that these companies, that each of them knew, but we haven't gotten that in discovery just yet because we're not that far along in the proceedings.